our uh, next guest. And as a matter of fact, Andrew, I'm going to have you bring him up for me. The vice chair of the DNC joins us now. Uh, Michael Blake. Mike, good morning, man. How are you?
I didn't know you all became relationship experts. What all is going on Make It Plain?
Well, Donald Jr. became a sex. See, one of the other results of this thing in the Pennsylvania 18th, not only did we win, but Donald Trump Jr. became a sex symbol, with that hairnet. And so a lot of women been calling about him. Brittany's into him. Then, so look at the timing of this. The wife obviously is threatened. So she's filed for divorce when he went out on that, put that hairnet picture up there, because she knew she couldn't fight him off. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's all about that outreach to the seniors. You got to do what you got to do out here.
Right. And so, the ladies love him now. Hairnet.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, my brother?
Hey, I'm still smiling about Connor winning.
Hey, isn't that something? It was amazing. Well, let's start this way. They're trying. It's funny how they try to spin things on the right. So they're trying to say that he's not even a real Democrat. And what did Trump say? He's just like him. Is that what he said?
Foolishness.
He's just like me. Really? That's his way of spinning it, huh, Mike?
I mean, Connor opposes their tax plan, supported health care. While he personally is not supportive of abortion, does not oppose abortion rights for women. I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, they spent millions of dollars trying to say he was tied to Pelosi.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, he ran as a Republican. Just stop. Stop.
Yeah.
I mean, what they need to understand right now is that a wave is coming, and it's happening.
Wave.
It's been happening since Donald Trump has been elected, and they just can't accept the reality that, oh, by the way, your supposed wonderful tax plan and tax cut that was going to help you, they actually stopped running on that because it wasn't working in Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
So, no, I mean, it's fine. They can call Connor anything they want, but what they have to do is they got to call him congressman now.
I love it. He said this at a fundraiser. It says here in remarks at a private fundraising event that Trump actually said that Connor Lamb won because he's like him. I'm gonna just read a little bit of this. The young man, he said, the young man. We're still looking for audio. Nobody's released audio of this fundraising thing last night, night before last. The young man last night that ran, he said, "Oh, I'm like Trump, Second Amendment, everything. I love the tax cuts, everything." He ran on that basis. Trump said he ran on a campaign that said very nice things about me. Is he a Republican? He sounds like a Republican to me. Later on, he stressed Lamb's appeal to many blue-collar conservatives, saying, but I guess when you're running in a certain area, that's probably a good tactic. But obviously, we had, Mike, we had a guest on yesterday from Pennsylvania, one of our regulars, Susie Madrick. And she said, for a change, what happened in the 18th, people voted their economic interest, Mike, rather than their resentment.
Yes. I mean, honestly, I'm not even going to waste time talking about Trump and his foolishness on this.
Yeah.
He's a narcissist. He's an embarrassment. He's a joke. Let's talk about Connor Lamb, who became the sixth millennial ever elected to Congress, who is a 33-year-old former Marine, former prosecutor, who I met on November 3rd of last year, and I told everyone, the moment I met this man, it was clear to me he was going to be a congressman. Some people just have it.
Yeah.
He had an aura about him, and I remember it vividly when I met him at a rally in Western PA. Not only did people vote their economic interest, Mark, they genuinely believe in this man. And the data point that and I always mention to you how much I appreciate you as a man of history who understands numbers, that I want to drive home to listeners. Connor Lamb flipped 172 precincts that voted for Donald Trump in 2016 that then went for Connor Lamb.
Wow.
The number of precincts that flipped from Hillary Clinton to Rick Saccone were 0. So people very clearly understood what they were doing. A district that Trump won by 19.6 points, a district that Romney won by 17 points, a district that Democrats had not run a congressional candidate the last 2 elections, a district that Republicans had since 2003. Please stop disrespecting Connor Lamb with this foolishness that somehow he only won because he was like somebody else. He was elected because he's Connor Lamb, because he ran a superior campaign, because people on the ground made a conscious decision of what they were doing, and they wanted to elect this man to be their congressional member. And this is the continuation of what is happening across the country. 39 state legislative seats that have now been flipped since President Trump's been elected. You now have your first congressional election. Oh, by the way, all the other congressional races that we didn't win, you pretty much had double-digit gains that happened in all of them. This is what's happening across the country. People are rejecting the foolishness of Trump, and they are seeing that Democrats have your back and the Republicans don't. Yeah. Period. Yeah. Point blank. Right. End of sentence.
Right. And again, I know you don't want to waste time on him. The only other point I would make, though, I think people are also saying that they too are tired wasting time on his foolishness, and you're not going to see news stories about that. For example, let's just deal with the Pelosi thing. Pelosi. He said, I don't think people vote on that, Mike. I don't think even the dumbest people go in the voting booth and vote on the basis of what somebody's relationship is with Nancy Pelosi. That doesn't mean anything. If I'm in my district dealing with issues related to my family and my job and my income, how can you make Nancy Pelosi a priority for me as a voter? I mean, I just think that was a dumb tactic. I really don't think people are into that kind of foolishness anymore.
I think the only ones that are impacted by that are the Republican base, who just need a talking point to get them revved up.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you were already worked up about her and anyone associated with her, more than likely you weren't going to vote for us anyway, right?
Right.
And if we want to talk about leadership, and again, going back to President Trump, but switching up in a different conversation, the notion that they won't have a conversation about Pelosi or anyone else on the Dem side, but Trump, it came out, was telling donors that he made up and lied a trade claim with the Prime Minister of Canada, who just internalize this for a second.
Yeah.
You have a president of the United States who is telling donors that he was lying about trade and economic issues with the Prime Minister of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are the things that people were saying, enough is enough. We need someone to counter this.
Yeah.
Like, we can't have this. And that actually just broke. That's a whole show you could talk about. I know the sister you had on earlier was talking about how, Trudeau was her boyfriend. Maybe, that could be something else you have to talk about there. But, like, these are the things that we have to talk through. We want to talk about being a counterbalance. Let's talk about how House Republicans, and I won't even say inexplicably because they've been very clear about who they are, voted to stop the Russia investigation because they supposedly found no evidence of collusion. Oh, by the way, they didn't engage with the House Democrats on the committee. Oh, by the way, all intelligence agencies conveyed that there clearly was meddling that happened in the election. And on top of that, Trey Gowdy, a House Republican himself, broke away to say there was clear evidence of what they were trying to do to help Donald Trump and hurt Hillary Clinton. So all of that to say that when we think about what happened in Pennsylvania 18,
mm-hmm.
where going back to what happened in Virginia last year, the number one issue of voters was health care. Wasn't Nancy Pelosi It wasn't any other noise. It was healthcare.
Right. That's
52%
right.
of people voted saying healthcare was their top issue. Of those people, Conor Lamb won 64-36.
Wow.
Of healthcare, 44% said they did not, that they supported the Affordable Care Act of President Obama. 42% said they didn't. So even with that, even in that district, they were supportive of Obamacare over the Trump plan. Oh, and by the way, 52% said they opposed the Republican plans to repeal health care. So even in a district that all of the Trump world was saying was Trump country, where you talk about taxes, you talk about the tariffs, you talk about all these different things, there specifically they said, no, actually, we don't want you taking our health care away.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what people are voting on.
And then obviously he made that tariff move to appeal to these steel workers in that area. That didn't work either.
Still couldn't win.
Yeah.
People are paying attention.
Yeah.
They're like, look, these games, this ain't working. We're not feeling this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this any longer.
So why, Mike Blake with his vice chair of the DNC, why shouldn't we be overconfident about November?
Well, let's break down the numbers.
Okay.
Wait, 23 seats now. 23 seats to flip to get back the majority. Yes, people will say, well, Conor Lamb's going to run in a different district. He has to take out a Republican and come in another district. So even if you want to say it's 24, we feel very confident that Conor's going to win because the district is actually more favorable to him.
Right.
You have 114 districts in the country that have better numbers than what in the district that Conor Lamb just was elected in.
114 with better numbers, and all we need is 24.
You need 24. There is no coincidence why these Republicans in the House and the Senate are retiring. They see what's coming.
Yeah.
They see what's happening. They're not confused. Senator Jeff Flake, yesterday, while walking down the halls in the Capitol, was asked, should we be concerned? Yes. No hesitation. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A Democrat just won a seat that Trump won by 20 points. Yes, we should be concerned. And so we have an effort, and that's why we're always going to be talking about I Will Vote and asking people to go to iwillvote.com. We want 50 million. We're going to reach 50 million people to be engaged in the process. You had 47 million people, person drop off from the previous presidential election, previous midterm election. And so you have 114 seats. You have this massive amount of energy that's happening across the country. And it's not just congressional races. It's what's happening locally as well. You have people like myself who, have re-elections for state legislatures. And we remind people that, you're going to have 800 legislators elected this year across the country. That will be the people that are going to be redrawing their lines when it comes to redistricting in their states. You should care about that, ladies and gentlemen. We should care about making sure that we have more governors, Democratic governors are elected, so we can continue to focus on Medicaid expansion and health care. As people are conveying, that's a priority issue. Again, data point, when we talk about local races, there are 16 seats in particular states that we need to flip, that those 16 seats, if we have pickups, would flip 9 chambers from Republican and Democratic hands. That's how close we are in some of these places around the country to really changing the game in a massive way. Big shout out to Jessica Post and Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee. What they have been doing has been yeoman's work at changing the game. Big shout out to Democratic municipal officials and what they've been doing around getting city council members elected all across the country. Barbara Moore and their entire team,
right.
Mike Suez and their team. So we're saying this all to say there's an opportunity, congressional, legislative, city council, across the board. Look at in North Carolina, Mark, first time ever, there's a Democrat that is running in all 150 seats they have for a state legislature. A wave is coming, and we're preparing for this. And we're optimistic because what we've been seeing thus far. But let's tie this and bring this all home by saying, at the end of the day, people are going to say, Democrats have your back. Democrats are fighting for you. Democrats are fighting for better opportunity for jobs.
Right.
Democrats are fighting so you can have health care and expand your access to health care. Democrats are saying that we got to do something on gun violence. I don't know. I might have missed it, and I will acknowledge if I did. I don't think I heard President Trump say anything about the walkout happened yesterday. He might have. If I missed it, again, I acknowledge that. But what are we doing to stand up for these respective communities? While at the end of the day, what's going to be the Republican message? Republicans are going to say, we passed a tax plan that helps the top 1%.
Right.
We try to take your health care away, and you shouldn't vote for them because of Nancy Pelosi. Like, that's not a winning message.
No, not at all. Connor Lamb, big victory. Now, lastly, some are saying that we're going to have to run races now more akin to Connor Lamb's. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, it really does depend on the district and appealing to the voters in that district, right, Michael?
100%. And again, because of your Browns, you'll appreciate the analogy I'm going to try to make here.
Bless you.
We can't get caught up in making one person the story for everything in all aspects.
Right, right.
Oprah Winfrey gave a remarkable speech that night, no question about it. Then for 72 hours, the conversation was, should Oprah run for president? Hey, everybody, relax.
Right.
Calm down. Right? Let's relax.
And I admit I was one of those people. It was fun. Right. It was fun to fantasize.
We were feeling good. I get it. I understand. Same thing with Connor wins. Oh, well, we need Connors all over the country. No, Connor was perfect for his district.
Yeah.
Right? And tying the analogy together, I don't know, Mark. Your assembly member in New York. I really hope that he'll get it together. Whoever your assembly member is, right? But like I think that there are things that I can say and do that are more progressive and more liberal in our district in the Bronx because of our district and because of what we went through. I've spent the last few days. My Monday morning was spent touring New York City housing developments with Governor Cuomo and Ruben Diaz Jr., our Bronx Borough President, and Richie Torres, our City Council member, because public housing is a major issue in our community. I wouldn't expect for someone else to talk about that in other areas. And so let's celebrate Connor for who he is, a remarkable public servant who was just elected by his district. But let's be clear, the person that you need for your district is what your district needs for the people. Plain and simple. Like, let's focus there. Let's bring it home in these communities. And when we do that, we're going to win. And I remind people often that when we think about what happened in 2006, in 2005, Republicans outspent us, and they had money 2-1 on us.
That's right.
We took that Congress.
That's right.
It's just about having the right people and having the resources to help them get across the finish line. That's why we're going to always keep talking about iwillvote.com. We want people to go to that site. If you care about the direction of your community, if you care about the direction of our country, if you care about what the young people did in walking out across the country yesterday, and we salute those young people who said we're going to focus on action, then say you're going to be very clear. I will vote, and I'm going to support candidates in my district that reflect the values of my district. That's how we make a blue wave happen in November.
iwillvote.com, folks. And since you mentioned those young people, some of them will be turning voting age this fall, too. They're going to make a big difference, aren't they?
If I'm a Republican in this country, I'm real scared about these young people going to be turning 18.
Should be. Scared to death, as a matter of fact.
Real scared.
Yeah, you're right. Mike, he is my assemblyman, folks, Mike Blake from the Bronx. Always good to talk to you, brother. This is great. Folks, keep this momentum going. Don't take it for granted now. That's the important thing. I was talking about being overconfident, and we know what that looks like, too. Oh, I don't need to vote because we already got it. No, let's not do that to ourselves again like we did in 2016.
We've learned that lesson. We've done that before. Let's not do that.
Yeah, iwillvote.com. Please, ma'am, please, sir, take that pledge to vote and be sure you're registered and up to date. He's the vice chair of the DNC. Mike Blake, our very special guest. Mike, as always, man, good to talk to you, brother, all right?
Great to talk to you, Mark, and I look forward to hearing your relationship advice the next time also.
More you relate. Yeah, well, I'm a minister. I may be performing Don Jr.'s wedding to Brittany. We'll see. So,
Oh Lordy! Well,
so.
don't miscategorize holy oil when you have this conversation.
Something about them hairnets, brother. So you know now when you up for re-election, you got to put on the hairnet. All
I've
right.
done that. I've rocked the hairnet at Casa Boricua Senior Center, William Hobson. They know, they've seen me. Me and my no hair.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. You still got to wear it. That's right. That's right.
Always.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
All right. God bless.
All right. God bless you too. Mike Blake, Vice Chair of the DNC. Sirius XM Progress 127. Get woke. Get ready for impeachment. This year, let's take the challenge to make Black history now instead of just celebrating Black history. Let's create real, unparalleled economic power in America. We're witnessing a global awakening as people the world over take a knee to protest injustice. But after the protest, we wonder, how can we create lasting progress? The answer is to use the internet to organize our economic resources and create real power. There are over 30 million of us who spend over $1 trillion a year. The internet allows us to organize at a scale and speed that makes us a powerful economic force. Yes, we can create tens of thousands of new Black millionaires, hundreds of thousands of new Black-owned businesses, and millions of new jobs for our community. Working together, we can do anything. Join the millions who buy Black and bank Black. Check out One United Bank, the largest Black-owned bank in America. Let's make Black history now. Go to oneunited.com, oneunited.com. Don't forget, iwillvote.com. We'll be back. Sirius XM Progress 127. Get woke, get ready for impeachment. This is MIP. Wake up!